I had someone come up to me and say, girl, you know, Grandma Izzy, she sounds just like my grandma. And I thought, okay, fine. And that's what I wanted to get there. And also, all of the people in the book, you'll notice that we call them things from time to time, and to keep people thinking about how we use words to describe other people and the names we use to call folks, but to be able to totally relate to the story and have it still be fun. I mean, come on.
Right.
It's not fun. You weren't going to finish it.
I actually did. I'm not actually a book reader. So, you know, I really was like, okay, you know, this book, you know, it's pretty short. I guess I could go ahead and read it. And then once I got into actually reading the book, you know, I was relating to a lot of things.
Very good.
You know, I was intrigued, especially when I came to the part where Maxine's brother set the house on fire. I just was like, oh my goodness. I could imagine Maxine's parents. I could imagine my parents. It'll be over for my life at that point. And it was just so relatable. I loved your book. And to top it off at the end of the book, you get a very inspiring quote that you wrote, the one that you just spoke of. And I think it is also very important that you need, you know, with Maxine's mom taking her around, is defining yourself. And I think that was a great thing that you put in your book. And I think it should be it would be very inspirational for someone, because even when I read it, I was inspired. So, also another thing that you put on the back of your book that I wanted to ask you about. I am my mother's daughter, and she ain't no Southern Belle.
Yes.
Talk about that for me.
That was Maxine talking. It's like, okay, my mom's a lot of things, but she is not a Southern Belle. And I think that what she was getting at there does relate back to history, and how she described her grandmother as being that pillow of the community. My mom was like this superwoman who, you know, I cannot recall not even one day of my life growing up that my mother didn't get up and make breakfast for my dad before she went off to work an 8-hour shift. Not one day can I recall that. My mother worked very, very hard. She was very, very smart. She had to deal with things that a Southern Belle simply would not have had to endure. And even though she had resources, they were resources that she generated herself. She didn't have a legacy of money passed down to her.
Right.
So that's what Maxine was thinking. Yeah, she's a lot of things, but she's not that woman on the porch sipping lemonade and fanning.
Right, she's out working.
Yes.
So do you think Maxine finds herself trying to follow in those steps of her mother, since she sees, you know, the getting up in the morning, cooking for her dad every day, you know, out working? Do you think Maxine is trying to follow that same?
I think Maxine is smarter than that. I think Maxine knows that she cannot do all of that.